Have you ever been to a bar or restaurant and really enjoyed the drink that you were having or cocktail? And then you wanted to go home and recreate that same thing, but looking at the ingredients, you realize it's either something you don't have or something that you can't readily buy at your grocery store. Today I'm going to show you how to make one of those bar staples that you can actually store in your refrigerator up to 30 days. Today's lesson is in simple syrup. It is a relatively simple process that yields about 1.25 cups of product. So you're going to need some supplies to start with. Start with a pot. I've got this one going for time purposes for this video, but you're going to start with your pot. You're going to need a whisk or something to mix with to make sure the sugar doesn't stick. You're going to need the stove, a container so you can pour it into so it can cool easier. And then you're going to need something to store it in. I personally like mason jars because it's a nice tight seal and it stores great in the refrigerator. So if you set those to the side, we'll get started. Start with your water. Go ahead with 1 cup of water and 1 cup of white granulated sugar. That's all it takes for simple syrup. If you'll go ahead and get those started, like I said, I've already gotten my water started. Go ahead and get your 1 cup of sugar. And make sure that you mix. And wait for that sugar, that mixture to get to a low, slow boil, just to get good and dissolved in there. Simple syrup is extremely versatile in the fact that you can flavor it if you'd like. You can use many herbs and spices if you'd like. Basil, fruit, any sort of thing like that that you want to enhance the flavor of the syrup with. All you would have to do is at the point when the sugar dissolves, go ahead and stick that ingredient into here, let it boil just a little bit, and it'll infuse those flavors. So once this gets going and gets nice and dissolved, you can see that the sugar is going to be dissolved and then it's almost ready to transfer. Let it get to a slow boil. Simple syrup is not just used in cocktails. It's also used with bakers and confectioners in all kinds of desserts and treats. A lot of times bakers will use the simple syrup in cakes to keep them moist and keep them from drying out. So now that that's got a slow, nice little roll boil to it, we're going to mix it one more time just to make sure everything is good and dissolved. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and take it off of the heat. Transfer it from your hot pot to another container. Just because this is going to actually help the cooling process, if you leave it in your hot pot, it's going to take a whole lot longer for this mixture to cool down. So this you could either leave out and let it cool, or you can put it in your refrigerator. I actually have a batch that I already made that's already cooled off. I just put it back in this hot one, but it's already cooled off. And so that is where your storage container comes into play. You can put this in one of those squeeze bottles because it makes it extremely easy to pour into drinks. Or like I said, I like to use mason jars just because it stores so well in this with the seal. So go ahead and transfer the liquid into your mason jar. Like I said, 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of water is going to yield about 1.25 cups of product because of the reduction. Make sure that's got a nice tight seal to it. And you can store this in the refrigerator for 30 days. So the next time that you're at home and then you decide that you want to make that cocktail, or maybe a friend gave you one of the cocktail mixers and you have all of the ingredients except for the syrup, now you have it readily available in your refrigerator. Simple syrup.